We had a good team working there. The provision of a security system, we knew exactly what to design, so we had the upper hand. There was absolutely no ways, given the fact that they had reduced the tender submission date from 30 days to 21, that anybody could compete with us.
And that is confirmed in the next paragraph, Mr. Agrizzi, which reads, given the fact that Bosasa operated the kitchens contract and therefore had knowledge of the correctional centre environment, the probabilities point to the fact that Sondolo enjoyed a significant advantage over its competitors because of its relationship with Bosasa. You have confirmed that?
That is what I confirmed.
And in those circumstances, nevertheless, the submission bid period was reduced from 30 to 21 days.
That's correct.
The last paragraph reads, despite it being a bid requirement that bidders should have 5 years' experience, Sondolo was only registered 7 days before the closing of bids, but was still awarded the tender. This was obviously irregular. Is that a correct statement?
I refer to that in my affidavit as well.
And it's correct?
That is correct.
All right, and for a wrap of what transpired at the Commission today, let us get in touch with our SABC senior reporter, Mzwandile Mbeje, standing by in Parktown. Mzwai, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through. So basically today was all about Agrizzi, sort of confirming the SIU reports.
Absolutely, Palisa. I mean, even in that clip that you've just played about Sondolo IT, he was basically going through the confirmations of what is it that they did, which was wrong. So basically what was happening most of the day today was that the commission, the head of the legal commission, who is the evidence leader in this instance, Advocate Paul Pretorius, was basically reading out the SIU report, which investigated the widespread corruption in the correctional services. So, but he was doing that based on what Agrizzi had said in the past few days, particularly when it came to correctional services. What basically he was doing was that the information that the SIU had collected, then he would then read that information out. Basically, the SIU saying there was corruption in various tenders because they were focusing on about 4 tenders. I mean, you know about the tenders for fencing, about the kitchen tender, and of course that Sondolo IT tender you're speaking about. So he would then go through every instance insofar as how it was arrived at, how it was done, and then Agrizzi would by and large confirm some of those issues. And remember, Palisa, the SIU was not, the SIU report was compiled not necessarily by the assistance of Mr. Agrizzi, but it was a question of what Agrizzi had said versus what the report itself had. So that was the thrust of the testimony of Agrizzi today. But at about 15 minutes before adjournment, that chapter was concluded. So which means the issue of SIU was then concluded, which by and large really, Palisa, confirmed most of the things that Agrizzi had said insofar as corruption was concerned, the destruction of the documents, the manipulation of the tenders, the fronting of the companies, the payment of people, the central figures like MT, like Gillingham, obviously Watson, I mean, being the owner of the company. So what this SIU report did was basically corroborated by and large by Mr. Agrizzi. But just before we concluded, then we moved into his affidavit. Remember, in the past few days, he's been dropping files, he's been dropping names, and then we moved into his affidavit where he basically said sometimes in 2009, he was asked or tasked by Mr. Gavin Watson to be the man responsible for handling cash, obtaining cash, and then making sure the cash was packaged so that it could be distributed to various individuals. So when we went for adjournment, we were about to hear the names of some of the people in the department, Balisa, of Correctional Services that were very influential in making sure that they were giving Bosasa protection. The reason being, Balisa, that remember, Lindamti was no longer there, so the protection was no longer guaranteed. And Mr. Gillingham, who they had been working with for a long time, was also not there, had been shifted to, I think, to the regions. So in order for them to make sure that a number of tenders that really they had been obtained so are somehow protected, they needed to identify certain individuals. So those are the names, Palis, of the individuals that I would assume we would start to hear about the first thing tomorrow morning. So basically the officials who were then now responsible for protecting those tenders which had been illegally awarded to Bosasa.
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear the names Mzwai tomorrow morning. But one of the names that was dropped today was that of the alleged middleman between the Department of Correctional Services and Bosasa, who Mr. Agrizzi says is the former Secretary General of POPCRU. POPCRU issuing a statement this afternoon saying they've never had a Secretary General by the name of Spoo.
Well, Balisa, you know, when you listen to this evidence, I mean, you hear startling things, and then you then say those people who are implicated perhaps will have an opportunity also to come here and give their side of the story, because that will assist in painting an even clearer picture. Some of the people obviously are disputing what is being said, but if they are disputing it from a distance and not utilize this forum, so I'm afraid whoever is on the witness stand now, so his word will be taken as the gospel truth. So it would be important, Balisa, for those implicated really to approach the Commission, because I would assume, having heard Mr. Agrizzi say so many things, and I'm sure some people are feeling aggrieved, they feel they are being misrepresented, and it would be interesting to hear them and see them here really put their side of the story, because as you say, POPCRU is basically saying, so we've never had an individual like that. So you must then put those questions to Mr. Agrizzi to say, so you came up with the name of so and so, where did you get it from? So it will then assist this commission, because remember, Balisa, this commission is not just about just talking, but it's about unearthing the truth about the circumstances really that led to what is now called the state capture. The state capture basically referring to certain individuals influencing certain departments, certain high-profile individuals to, benefit for themselves. So once again, it will be very interesting to hear the other side. I hope those that are implicated will really take this opportunity. Palisa.
All right, Mzwai, we have to leave it at that. Thank you so much there to our SABC senior reporter, Mzwandile Mbeje, reporting live from Parktown at the State Capture Commission venue, of course, updating us on what came out of the commission this afternoon. Of course, we expect the commission to resume tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.